Okay, the next step in our developing our website with Dreamweaver is to add a nice menu bar. I've decided I don't want my links to go over here. I'm going to put in either my flash animation or a graphic. So I'm going to add a menu bar up top, right between my text and my header. So I'm going to go ahead, go to my Layout tab, insert an AP div box. If you already have a nav box set up, you're good to go. Otherwise, throw one in. Now remember, you might want to save various versions of your website as you go along. File, save as, version 2, so that if you ever change something and don't like the way it looks, you can always go back and change it. Alright, when I want to add a new color for my color scheme, so I'm going to go over here and go with 666565. So make it look pretty. There we go. So that should stand out nicely. We can polish it a little more later, but what we want to do now is add a nice menu bar. Go over here to the Layout tab and go down and click Spry. Spry has a bunch of built-in sort of code scripts made from JavaScript that we can put in and make it very nice and easy for us. So we're going to add a Spry menu bar. Click that, and we can have a drop-down one. We're going to use the horizontal one. If you later on decide you want vertical, that's what you would put for the side. So I'm going to hit OK, and it throws in a few items. I'm going to go ahead and preview it. And it's going to ask me to save, and notice it created a bunch of files for us. A couple GIFs, 4 GIFs, its own CSS page that we'll style in a minute, and then this .js, which is a JavaScript page that does all the code for us. Alright, here's what my website looks like now. Couple items, notice rollovers change color. We can have submenus, or sublists, sublinks rather, and ones beneath that. So let's go in and change these. So back to Dreamweaver. If you click on the blue menu bar tab, you notice you'll get this. So for item 1, has some submenu items. I can delete those. Adding them is simply that easy. Item 2 doesn't have anything. Item 3 does. It even has sub ones down there. So I'm going to get rid of all those. We don't need that many links. Now if you want to change the text, you can change it right here. Or you can do it right on your screen. So change that to whatever you want. We're going to have it link just to some random places. Click back here to get that menu bar. Say I want Contact Us to go to a certain link. If it's a local link inside, like to a different part of your page, that's what the pound sign is for. Our pages aren't that big though. So I'm going to link externally to http:// and then it's good. That will create a link for us. Now what I want to do next is resize that way. It fits a little bit better. So I'm going to resize my 2 AP div boxes. Don't worry if it's not perfect right away. And I'm going to go ahead and save. Okay, so I polished mine up. I got my outlines looking good, so it fits in there pretty well. But we can still do better than this. We haven't changed our font. The blue doesn't work with my color scheme, and it's not centered in any way, so we still have this big useless area right here. We got to figure out a way to take care of that. There's seems to be a big space between map and investments, so we still have a little bit of work to do. Okay, so back in Dreamweaver, a few changes I want to make then is with this blank area here, I want to move my menu bar over to the right. I want to change my rollover color so it's not blue, and then I want to center my text within the buttons so that I don't have all this space over map. So the way that we have to do this is with CSS. So I'm going to select my menu bar. I'll click over here on All. I'm going to minimize that. And notice there's a CSS external file attached to this. That's where all of my styling is done. I'm going to move this up a bit. Pull this down and hit the plus next to it. Now, the only downside to this is you can see how many different items it has. There are so many different states. For instance, we have the menu when we're just looking at it, the menu when we mouse over it, the menu for drop-down menus, when we've clicked, when we're hovering, as you can see. So there's so much going on that we have to, sometimes we just have to dig through it all these various lists right here. Okay, so you can go through this one by one, find out what's in there. On one of these we'll probably see some colors pop up. There we have the blue, so we could change that in there. But another way of doing it, and you can also add additional properties, is just to double click on something. That brings up this Edit Rule button that you're probably more familiar with. Okay, so since I'm in the whole, sort of the overarching menu bar horizontal, let me see if I can't get that information over to the right. So let's try, see if we can't float that right, see what happens. All right, so that floats it over within just the AP div box. Note that that's not floating it relative to the rest of the web page. It's only internal for this box. All right, I'm going to scroll down, looking for menu items, menu bar horizontal. We know that the A is the link, so if I click on that, let's double click. This is what my links look like. I can change the font family in there. Let's go to Comic Sans for all of them. In fact, we know not to do that, so that's why I'm doing that, just to make a point. So go in, you're going to want to change it to the font that you chose earlier today. So when we hover, I think that's where we got that blue color. So I'm going to double click on this, bring that up, scroll through. The background color when we're hovering, let me see if I can't get something that works better with my menu screen or my color scheme. I'll go with silver. So I'll change that to C0, C0, C0. And what happens? Let's take a look at this. Okay, so changing that didn't work. So I'm going to have to go back in, scroll through all of these ones till I find something else that has the wrong color, and make sure I have the changes made all the way through, because it's not worth memorizing which is which. Then once you get that working, you can preview it, and it should look more like that. And everybody's going to know that's a link because of that mouse over effect that changes the color. And then I just have to polish up this little mistake, and I'm done with this part.